Hello, Tele1020. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about accessibility considerations when working with technology. Um, Now, we are going to basically break this down into a couple of different video sessions, just so they're more in bite-sized chunks, so you're not listening to us for hours and hours and hours. And it's basically designed to be very high level. Obviously, you can get very into the nitty gritty, but hopefully you'll pick up on a few things that you really need to kind of be thinking about in terms of looking at kind of accessibility considerations with technology. So I always like to throw a couple questions out there, or at least try to think of it in terms of these are the questions you should be asking yourself. What if learners can't? What if they can't read what you have presented? What if they can't hear it? What if they can't see it? What if they can't process it? And it's not necessarily, we're not talking about, like they don't understand because they're not quite there yet. It's more, is there some type of barrier in the way that is causing them to have an inability to read, hear, see, or process? And sometimes you have to think in terms of what if assistive technology was required in some of these things. So at the college here, we have a series of tools called Premier Tools, which is being currently reevaluated because it's kind of some data technology, and it's not overly intuitive, and it's not really keeping up with the technology that is in place in the college. So probably more to come on that within a year or so. So what happens if a student requires some type of screen reader? That's just one example. How are they going to work with that? We had a situation a year or so ago where someone was trying to use JAWS with one of our courses, and JAWS is assistive technology that stands for something that escapes me right now, but I'll think of it in a few minutes. Something access with speech. Anyway, my apologies there. And it was quite interesting because a few of us went down to the Department of Community Services to kind of get a demonstration of how this tool works, and the guy that was using it was basically using his keyboard because he couldn't use a mouse because he couldn't see anything on the screen, so he had to use his keyboard, and he played it like a piano. It was just quite amazing to see how he used the technology. Anyway, so again, what barriers might be in place is another good question to ask. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a few things, just some generic things, just to get you thinking more than anything else. We're going to do a couple of these little sessions to kind of focus on basic formatting, like just some of the things you need to consider when creating documents or presentations, or even working with Brightspace in terms of what fonts should you be using or not using. What about paragraph formatting? What about tables? Things like that. Image considerations, things that you should be thinking about when you're choosing and selecting images for some of your course material. Audio and video considerations, links and documents. And then, just things that if you're working with such things as Word and PowerPoint, which are pretty common tools, what you really should be thinking about for each of those. So anyway, this is more or less the introduction, and more to come.